Sorry, I don't know what the fuck. My phone just suddenly just went off. Um, and I'm trying to switch it over, like I had said, because the Xfinity is bullshit. I don't know how your phone gets paid off and suddenly your data goes up like quadruples. I don't know, way more than that. Go from 2 to 10 in 2 weeks. Oh, bullshit. So I don't know. I switched over to Mint, and the whole time I keep on hearing like Ryan Reynolds. I didn't even realize it was his thing, and I just was looking for when to switch, and somebody synchronistically was talking about it. And so I went in to get it, but now that I know it's his, now I keep hearing him when they say stuff. I keep everything with him. I hear it in his voice, or everything with the phone. Okay, so anyways, you just get so much more with that energy of recognizing that it's outside of you, you know. But they keep us all in these cities, you know, on top of each other, and all of our energy is just like hitting into each other. That's one reason why I think there just needs to be so much change. When I was driving, you know, you're thinking about the energy and I mean the traffic, and you're like, oh my gosh, they just keep people so condensed in these cities. They move all businesses, trying to just force us all into these cities because it's control, control, control. And humans need to have a little more space. We need to, like, we've got a lot of energy. We need to not be like touching everybody else. Our energy is, you know, hits into each other. So, anyways, I just really picked up on a lot of stuff while I was doing that drive, and I just saw it from a completely new perspective. And so, anyways, there was stuff that yesterday that I didn't finish saying, because this show is just, it is, to me, it kind of seems remarkable. Like, it's weird that the controllers are even letting this information out. But I think the only reason is because he would be considered a channeler, and most people wouldn't give them the time of day. They just think like, oh yeah, crazy person. But oh my God, the details he has about stuff in past lives and about human history and about how humans and the whole thing, about how souls are created, and it just totally resonates. Everything he says, it's like, and that's why it's like it turns on things inside of you. And that's one thing too, that there's been all of these different things that have been occurring to trigger us awake, and it's pre-planned. Like, as a soul, you are in there, you know, like, okay, I want to have this happen because I know that will wake me up. That will wake me up, you know. And then we have certain people coming into our lives at certain times, and it's all for our soul's own progression. And the more that we start realizing that, because the things he's talking about, it integrates for me this stuff about our true history with the aliens, which they were telling me in my head when I was little, and so our true history with the aliens, and then also the evolution of our souls in the ascension. And so he talks about these things, and it just kind of integrates it all into the same thing for me. Because, but it's not gonna be the same thing for everybody, because there's some people that don't even, I've said before, I've had people stop talking to me because I said the aliens are real. They thought it was completely crazy forever. I mean, that was even going on up to like a year and a half ago. Like, so it's gonna be hard for people to wrap their heads around the lie of our true, how we're truly here. And he goes over so much stuff, and it's so specific. But one of the things is, so humans, that about our 12 strands of DNA in the blood, and the blood carries knowledge, and that's why certain people have awarenesses of certain things. And he's talking about these 12 different, I think it was 12, I'm pretty sure it was 12, because he keeps talking about the 12 first families, the Atlantean families that went out and started, that fought and basically took over. I think that's when the flood came in to kill them all or something. I'm not sure. He hasn't even gotten to that part, but a lot of stuff about Atlantis and him remembering his life in Atlantis. And I've always talked about this connection that when I was a little kid, like, but the stuff that he's talking about, it's like, yes, there's certain things that like in your own soul's memory or something, because you'll know it when you're a little kid, whether how much you get cut off from it. But there's certain knowings that we have as children. And so there was certain things that I was very connected to. And then listening to him talk about, it's like, that's what I knew that. And that's what I thought. And so anyways, I'm so enjoying this show. But and what's weird too is a couple weeks ago, before I saw him, I was talking about I think I was talking about like having long arms and this tall like lean body, but it's like, you know, definitely not like the Kardashian shape going sideways. And I was talking about like I think my DNA is like, I think I was like cave people with long arms, like we had to reach way out, we had to go through tight spaces and furry, like I get like fur on me or something. So like that DNA is somewhere inside of me, you know. And I was saying, you know, they have all this DNA from all these aliens, you know, who knows what DNA we all have. And so this guy's talking about it right after I said, there's so much information that I'll talk about. And then my guides will bring in confirmation to me, because I'm just talking off like what they're telling me. You know, I'm not going out and researching and stuff. Information comes to me when it's supposed to come to me. And then it triggers awareness of things. It's trippy. When you're on a spiritual journey, it's magic, man. So, anyways, you know, I was talking about that, and he's talking about it, and he's saying, so the Galactic Federation had these different, because all these different, when Earth started to become matter, and, you know, they all are like, okay, so what are we going to do with this planet, you know, and, you know, they're coming and they're looking out, and this is like over, you know, eons and eons, like we are so focused on clocks and calendars and shit, but time is so irrelevant. Oh, and he was just talking about time is its own consciousness, and that all different consciousnesses are trying to control time. And you know, they, like, even in this on Earth, look at how they control time for us. You know, it's crazy. That's what I'm saying. Like, when you're watching it and you start, like, the things he says, that like your brain is like reaches out and connects, like it just triggers these memories or something. Like you just see things like in a different way. And so anyways, so it's kind of like all of these battle to control time, but time is its own energy that's like, you know, back off, bitches, I got this under control. But they all, you know, and that has one of the things that has created so much tension in, you know, if you think of our solar system as its own body, it is its own body. And you know, it's like all the organs are like, oh, I'm going to control the heart, you know, because it's giving all of life. And so there's a whole thing about our blood and stuff. So when the Galactic Federation had chosen these different ones, that they were all coming, you know, because this is all a science experiment. We are a science experiment. That's the stuff that I was being told when I was little. And I'm trying to tell people, like, they're watching us, you guys. They're always watching us. This is a zoo. And, you know, that's why everybody thought I was crazy. But it's true. So they came here and they were, you know, messing with DNA and stuff. So they ended up taking blood from all of the different beings and put it in humans, because we are supposed to be the cohesiveness of this system. And it's so cool. Some of the stuff about, you know, like how important human beings really are, and how, you know, I talk so much about the manipulation and the matrix and stuff like that. He's talking about, you know, you got to get in, accept the matrix, because the matrix is the womb. Like, if you think of this whole thing as the womb, the solar system, he's not just talking about our stuff that's going on right now with all the manipulation. And so the womb gives birth and to the soul, and so the soul is always connected to the womb, so you can't get out of it. You have to come into balance with it. And so everything, you know, people, that's the thing with the Bible and stuff. Everybody tries to take everything so literal, like three-dimensional, but it's so much like symbolic. Like you have to look at it different. And that's the whole thing about the human journey. And this is what I talk about all the time with reincarnation and stuff. It's so you can gain perspective, so you don't judge others because you have these experiences. You understand where people are coming from. You understand the complexity of the journey, and we don't judge. And when he was talking about the you know, the ninth dimension, the one of what God really is, and it is of no judgment. It's just void, empty space. And that is where you go to become who and what I am. Then we go into life to start having the experience of who and what I am. And the way he shows it with the Merkabahs, and you know, I don't know all those geometric terms, but they're constantly restructuring, you know. It's all this geometry, like everything, like all of us, we are just geometry, frequency, resonance, and color that is able to form itself into matter so that we can have an experience. But we're really just the consciousness that has created the matter. That is how remarkable we are. And this is the kind of stuff, you know, that they had shown me so many times. They would show me these things in my head. And I would be like, I don't understand what they're showing me. What does this mean? And like, I had talked to somebody else and they had gotten the same one too, but like the cards, like when you take a deck of cards and you go, you know, it's got all those. That is what our life is like. And that's what he shows, like how it keeps recreating. And each thing is a different perspective. So if you made a room of mirrors, he said like when they would use the pyramids, that there's so much more about the pyramids than what we're told. And but he said when you would use them, he's talking about that they would go and there'd be a big pool of water and this woman would sit in it and they would use those cross things that have like, they were really popular in the 70s. Everybody wore them. I think they're called ankhs or something like that. Some of the stuff he calls it by their old name because he's talking like when he knew about this stuff in his past life. So they would sit, the channeler would sit in the water and then they would use this and they would actually use the energy that we are putting out to create portals so that they could gain knowledge and connection. It's just so crazy. Some of the stuff, it's so exciting because there's so much information that's been withheld. It's like new toys that we'll all be able to play with, you know, of understanding who and what we are. But so anyways, they put all of these different bloods in us so that we would have the understanding of all different, because in all different solar systems and stuff, it's different experiences. They have different perspective of things. So it broadens us. So human beings have, like I said yesterday, the emotions. We have emotions and other beings don't have that. But they see us as being like dynamite. That's why we have been they've been watching, like, what are humans going to do? Can they gain the reality consciousness of who and what they are? And that is what's happening for so many of us right now. And it's going to be for everybody. Everybody, you know, like I talked about, the lights are going to suddenly go on for people. Things are going to suddenly be shown. And they will have no choice. The mirror is going to be huge right in front of them. They're not going to be able to look away. Right now, people can distract themselves. They don't have to see. They don't even have, not everybody even has an awareness that there is multiple perspective. They think it's just the way they see it. And they're so cut off from themselves. They don't have that inner knowing. They don't have any inner guidance because they think it's just their thoughts, and they control their thoughts like through alcohol, whatever, distraction of some sort, coping skills, you know, drama, just whatever. And so the thing that I found really fascinating is he talks a lot about the reptilians, and they aren't like for us, like what we're being told right now, or you know, if you were into disclosure or the ancient history and trying to figure out, like, you know, because nothing that they've said makes sense. So if you're one of the people like me who's trying to understand what the fuck, so they've been saying it's the Anunnaki, and they came down here and they took the monkeys, they fucked with their DNA, and they created us, and then they manipulated us, they killed us, killed us, and stuff. And now these families that were the original families who stayed this in, little ancestral group are what controls everything. They control the world. And but they control it all through manipulation and lying to us. And so but there's so much manipulation and mind control going on, people don't even know, but it is all to like harness our energy for themselves, and we don't have access to it because we're so cut off from ourselves. They even do those sneaky ass things like put fluoride in stuff, which they know it I don't know what decays or shrinks or whatever your pineal gland, which is your third eye that helps you stay connected to who and what you really are. And so they're sneaky motherfuckers. But anyways, we're breaking free because everybody's starting to wake up to like, okay, wait a minute. In their own ways, they're finding something that's helping them in their awareness. And anyways, the reptilians, when they came, they were really and supposedly, the reptilians are the bad ones that are showing the government how to do all these things to, so they can shapeshift and eat us and stuff. And what he's talking about is the reptilians came, and they have an important thing that they're trying to teach everybody, because they've got blue blood, they've got cold, and they have a completely different perspective about things, and that's what they want to share. So they've come because that's all they want to do is get us to understand. But they have everyone has to follow the certain rules of the universe, and you can't impede on someone else's energy. You can't force it. But the way they're doing it here is through trickery, and they've set up laws and stuff that they think cover them, but their stuff is falling apart right now. It's all crumbling, so it's all ending. So that's the exciting thing, and that's what's moving us into it. It's not moving us into the new era. It is that we are moving into a new era. We are going up in consciousness. We are going into what they call other dimensions, but it's other states of resonance with the vibration and stuff. And the other states of resonance gives you a higher state of consciousness. So, the Earth, the whole solar system, this is happening for the whole solar system. This isn't just like, humans. But everyone is around because we're the big news, because we are actually going to do it with the planet. And this is, a different thing that has happened in our solar system. And so when they are, okay, get back to, okay, so when the humans, when they are raising their consciousness, it's as it is raising, it's letting go of things that are not able to rise to that frequency. That's why we're leaving like this dense, kind of what we all consider evil or bad. There's so much negativity, dense, heavy energy here, because in order to raise your vibration, you have to be high, you have to be, and you get that connecting to self and connecting to your inner knowing, God, whatever, however you see things. And you don't use third parties. That's a big thing. Don't go through others to find your truth. Go in search of your truth. All of us speaking out should just be triggering you to go search for your truth, to think like, hey, I want to go find this happiness, that they're talking about. Because, everyone's on their own very specific soul journey. Like you're contracted out with other people. Don't go to people who you think like can make it an easy streak, because you can't. You have to go through stuff. You have to actually learn it and understand and experience it. Just like, if you were in school and you cheated and you went and got a test and you had the answers and then you went and wrote them down and you got a good grade. you have no idea what the fuck any of it means. So you didn't really learn anything. So did you really win? You just cheated. You didn't really accomplish anything. You know, you got your little ego boost or something for a good score. Maybe got out of being grounded. I don't know. But anyways, you have to do the work to understand the experience. So you can't skip parts. So in this part, you're here to learn about yourself. And learning about yourself is seeing yourself for who you are. And learning about yourself is taking your own power back. And when you take your own power back, it elevates your energy. You know, you're no longer a victim to life. You embrace it. And I just love that thing about the, you know, as God being the void. And that is one thing, is even as a child, it's still, I mean, still to this day, I bring it up a lot when I talk. The, you know, out in the water, out in the middle of the ocean, if you're sitting out there on the boat, that to me is the great void. That to me is just, when there's void, even when I would go water skiing as a little kid, you know, and having my legs down, I couldn't handle it. I don't like the void. And sometimes, like, I'll think, people will be like, here, you know, they're all like, oh, when I die, I'm going to go to heaven, and I'm going to sit at the feet of God. I'm such a good person, and I'm going to sing to him for eternity. And I always would get this weird feeling like, oh, fuck, eternity. God damn. I think I'm just going to keep living lives because, and that void comes into my head, and it gives me the same feeling. And so when he said that, I was like, oh my God, yes, that is what. And I had heard that one person talking about, I think they were talking about ayahuasca experience or something. And it was some kind of natural, you know, medicinal herb, whatever. And, but you connect with, you know, outside of yourself. And so his was very creepy, a lot of creepy shit in it. But, you know, everything is shown to you in a way for you to try and translate to understand. So, you know, he would have to understand all that. The different things, you know, he was sharing them, and they were intense. But you have to, when you have your experiences, it doesn't have to be on ayahuasca or mushrooms or anything. It can be, you know, you have experiences a lot of ways. Just sit down, meditate, and ask to be shown shit. But he went into the void, and he was so freaked out. And that's what this guy is talking about. Like, in the void, it's horrible. But it makes you have to ask who and what I am. And that is everything. Oh my God. It is everything. Who and what I am is the drive of the soul. And that's why when you die and you see, like, how you left the world, or how you left the other experiencers of your energy in these, you know, in your different lives, then that is the motivation. And then plus, when you're dead, you know, your resonance, like, and how far you can go. Like, I don't want to go all the way up there to the void. I'm good. I'd rather stay. And I think that's why there's a lot when he talks about the tree of life. And because the tree of life, it represents all the souls. Like, there's a leaf on there for every single soul. And then when you go to the Akashic records, it's all records of all lives of all souls. And then when he was talking about, like, when you have these channelers that are going up, that are this level of energy, and they're interfering with this higher level of energy. So when the higher level beings go in, because we're pretty low right now, when the higher level beings, which is mostly everyone else, goes in there, we've interfered. So we've put our energy on it, and our energy is not of understanding, because we have not had the experiences to get us to understanding. So that's why it's super important. Don't just go to it. Oh, you know, that's why, like, don't just stop eating meat because someone said, oh, they told me to stop eating meat. Listen to your body. This is your mind, body, spirit. This is the Trinity. This is the connection that you need to worry about, not what so-and-so said or any of that shit. This is you finding your inner knowing, connecting, finding balance. But you have to know yourself to find balance. You can't find balance if you don't know yourself. You have to see the dark sides. That's why it's called the dark night of the soul. You have to see every aspect of self. You have to accept yourself. There's so much people going around and they create drama thinking it's someone else, but really it's them. They are expressing that energy to come back to them. It's so crazy, and it's going to change everything when people start really understanding what the fuck is going on. But some of the stuff that they had shown me when he is doing it, they have, I don't know, some kind of artist person doing pictures that are just really, really cool. Like when I was talking about like the Anunnaki, in the stuff I've seen, they look like these decrepit old creeps that look like they work at the Vatican. And his drawings, they look like Vikings, these hot, badass guys. And in the reptilians, they don't look like, military monsters. In this one, there was a lot of the female energy was going to learn from the reptilian females, because there was so much stuff that they were sharing, and it was such a connection for the women. But all of this stuff started the polarity. There's so many things in our history that just continue to do this polarity in the East-West. And it all started from this all the way back to the Atlantean War, which was when all of the different beings were all here, and everyone was trying to interfere with the humans. They all thought, oh, we can do it better. We can do it better. They need this. They need that. Our planet does this. Our planet does that. They need this and that. That's why we have so much of it in us. But the whole thing is for us to wake up and connect to those things, those realities. And that is why there's so many out there that are communicating with us right now, trying to get us to wake up. That's why you have synchronicities and things that happen. It's not just, the universe isn't just being all like, hey, cutesy, look, we're over here. They're actually trying to communicate with you to wake you up, because you want to wake up. You want to ascend. Because when you ascend, when you have the higher state of consciousness, life is very different. You don't have to die. You don't have to go without. This is about polarity here, the Piscean age, and about finding balance of the negative and positive. And that's why everything is a competition. Who's better than who, and they're bad, I'm good, and all that stuff. But in the transition, in order to move up, to ascend, it is you have to see yourself from all aspects. You have to learn to accept and love yourself, because once you accept and love yourself, you can accept and love others. You won't judge others. You will have understanding. You start to look at them like you can see yourself in them. Like you don't, but you have to love and accept yourself. Then you can start seeing yourself. Then you can love and accept others. But until you can get to that state of mind and you're stuck in this like, poor me, it's everyone's fault and stuff, then you're playing still in this three-dimensional game. You have to level to the next game, which is, a new set of rules. But see, this game is showing us what it is right now. By purging out this negativity, it's being exposed to us and making us question ourselves. Who and what I am, who and what am I? What am I doing here? How do I align? What are my morals? That whole thing. And so as as humans all start to do that, then we have such a huge role to play in the whole galactic, the earth will no longer just be our playground. We'll be able to go everywhere. We will move, and we won't die. I even have heard people talking about that once we go up, because we're still in transition. Keep in mind, that's why some of us who are here, like, we can be in the 4th, the 5th, the 6th. It just depends. Like, I spend a lot of time alone. And this is another thing I noticed when I was driving, because I spend a lot of time alone. I spend a lot of time in meditation. I'm always talking to the beings around me. So I'm always like in this state of mind, which it is a different state of mind, because even if it's not like a dream or something where you're asleep and you're sitting there wide awake, you slip into this other place, because this other place you can go and you're talking and you're having experiences and stuff. But when you try and go back into the other one, it kind of holds on to some of the information. So then you like open your eyes and you're like, okay, I'll write that down. And it's like, what the hell was all that? Like, how am I supposed to remember all that? I can't even, it's you're definitely in a different place, different state of mind. That is our state of consciousness. And so one of the things that, when they have shown me these visions all the time, when he was talking about it, it just came to me, like I could see it so perfectly, about, us being this vibration, this energy that is, it puts out the, it's like the colors and vibrate out to create the matter of who we are. So if we pulled all the way back from this being, we would go back, pull our colors back. We are the colors that we are creating, which has to do with our resonance, our vibration of how high or low is our colors too. But in the tree of life thing, when he was talking about like all the souls are there, but when they go through their life and then they die, they come back down and then they disintegrate into minerals and go back in to feed the tree the knowledge that they learned from the other lives. And this is the thing about the light workers, star seeds, all those, the different labels that they keep coming up with, that all these different souls come during this time to experience this ascension, but also to bring this knowledge in to help the others to be able to ride this wave. I think I probably say this stuff all the exact same thing all the time, but I don't know if I'm saying it any different, but listening to him, it definitely gave me in my head, I can see more clearly now. I can see that how we create ourselves. And one of the things is too, is when you get to this certain space, like when they were doing in the pyramids and stuff, then you can control matter. Once you can control time, you can control matter. So that is and when he shows like the snake, the earth, where the Himalayas are and stuff, there's like it's important energetically. And I think that's why there is a lot of monks and stuff. I think it goes so far back. I mean, he's talking about it back to the Atlantis times. But those monks and gurus or whatever they're called, that live up in there, that are all spiritual and stuff, that they can use that energy and stuff. But that's how levitation and all of that stuff starts happening. And a lot I've heard of different ones being able to do that. I bet you there's a lot more that can do that. Once he was talking about the energy that's available to you in the portal, if you're able to wrangle it like they were in the pyramids, if you're able to get it to get centered enough, that to get enough balance that you can control matter, because you have no you're in the void. You have no judgment. Because when we try and do it now, we judge ourselves, like, oh, this is crazy. I'm never going to be able to do that. I can't do that. That's, once we start being able to do it and we know we can do it, then there won't be that, but we have to get over that hump and realize that we have that much control. We're making this. We're creating this. So we can't control it. And, just right now, I feel like it's baby steps, just learning energetically, where your frequency lies is the energy you're pulling towards you. So if you're down here and you're just like in the humdrum, life sucks all the time, you're pulling that energy towards you. So yeah, fuck yeah, life sucks. Take a day off from the life sucks and be like, fuck yeah, life is beautiful. I'm so excited. See if you don't get some good stuff that day, and then try it another day and another day and another day. Because that is what I found, is that's what happens, that the more excited you are and the more happy you are, the more you just pull that energy. The energy is attracted energy. Oh, yesterday too. Oh, the drive was so crazy. It was like, absolute insanity. And I already had my meltdown earlier on the Xfinity guy, which was more phone calls a day. But anyways, I already had, had that meltdown. So when I was driving, it was already frazzled, and I'm trying to rush and I haven't fully thought out, my whole day and stuff. So I'm just like trying to go, go, go. And so when I'm driving, I'm still in that energy, and all this chaos is happening. And so I'm like, people are cutting in front of me and stuff. And I was like, I kept yelling still. It was still coming, like, oh God. And then when I got myself calmed down, then I just told the spirits that are feeding off of our energy, you're welcome. That one was on me. Because there's all these ones that are feeding right off of us. So, just having the awareness that that's going on. Because, vampire your energy right on out of you. So, anyways, I guess my company's up, so I should go. I'm going to probably not be able to put those two together, so it's just going to be kind of weird. So I have that first part where I'm talking about that stuff. But anyways, I just really, listening to him, it really got me thinking about, because this whole thing is breaking free of judgment. And, they have us even with our stuff about, we're slaves and we're this and we're that and stuff. The more that we can break free from that experience and not judge it, the higher you can raise your vibration. Because anything that we're judging, anything that we are, it's holding us back. The whole thing is to find that space between the perfect balance. You can't be too hung up on any one thing. You can't put all your emotions in any one thing. Keep it centered. Keep it real. Talk to you later. Bye.